Welcome to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live, where we offer the news, weather, traffic, sports, information, and entertainment our commercial drivers want to hear. I'm your host, Shelley Johnson, along with Tom Kelly. Speaking of entertainment, movies are always a great topic for the show, especially by performers our drivers like. John Schneider directs and portrays an American veteran named Quint North in his new movie, To Die For. His performance is nothing short of stellar. The film is based on a true story about a man who is jailed for displaying the American flag. Schneider wrote, directed, and starred in the film, which was produced by his wife and filmmaking partner, Alicia Alain. This gripping drama takes on the feel of a Clint Eastwood film, with Schneider front and center for one of the most impassioned performances of his career. John says he created the movie to honor the people who sacrificed for our freedoms and set the record straight about what matters in this country today. It's a thought-provoking commentary about pride, freedom, sacrifice, and the love of America. Here's a sneak peek at the movie.
This is simply a matter of taking a different route.
Why would I do that?
So you can avoid going by the school with a flag on your truck.
Why would I do that?
To keep from getting arrested.
Look, young man, I am a veteran, okay? I'm a veteran, and I bought a lot of gas. Every gallon of gas that I put in my car or my truck for the last 60 years has bought me the right to drive down any public road that I see fit.
But the court won't see it that way. The school has rights.
I went to that school before your dad was wiping his own butt. In fact, that school is where I learned to say the Pledge of Allegiance in the first place. You know, they used to have a flag right there in the middle in the turnaround until some of you wannabe socialist, politically correct idiots took it down.
That's not fair, and you know it.
I don't even know what fair is anymore.
At least he took it off for the trial. You can be thankful for that.
No, I did not take it down for the trial. I took it off because the trial will be over at night, and you never fly a flag at night unless it's properly lit.
The flag offends some people.
If the flag of the United States offends people, they go somewhere else. They can go somewhere else where flags and honor and sacrifice don't matter.
Mr. Quinn, this is for your own good.
I'm so tired of people telling me what's for my own good. And I'm also tired of people coming here from other countries and other places for the taxes or for the scenery or for whatever the hell they come here for and trying to make it like the very place they left. Okay, don't California my Louisiana.
This isn't the small town you grew up in.
People keep telling me that.
I tried. I'll meet you at the courthouse at 4 p.m., Mr. Quinn.
You can keep the change. Oh, hell, I didn't. Would you pay for this? And I'm not taking the flag off my truck, okay? And if that offends you, kiss my ass.
He's some piece of work.
That's my dad.
I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly, and we're talking with actor, musician, and movie director John Schneider today about his new movie, To Die For. He directed and played the lead role in that movie. It was produced by his lovely wife, Alicia Alain, his filmmaking partner. It's a dynamic film. First of all, John, you are a marvelous actor, and I want to commend you on your stellar performance in this movie. You really knocked it out of the park playing the lead as Quint North.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very near and dear to my heart, every word of it. You know, I wrote the movie. Alicia is the producer. So she's the one that has to deal with the numbers and the scheduling and all of the stuff that doesn't really move. And I mean, I'm out there going, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And, you know, she's got to adhere to some sort of math. But yeah, I love this movie. It was the easiest screenplay I ever wrote because it just kind of fell out of me. You know, I was inspired by a little story that came over my Facebook about a guy that chose going to jail over taking the flag off the back of his truck. And I think he was in either Arizona or New Mexico. And I read that story and I thought, you know, it's terrible that we've come to that. So I have to write a movie about someone that this happens to, and then I expanded on it. I don't know if he was military, so I made my guy a Marine, largely because our cinematographer is a Marine. So I had someone to talk to at all times if I messed anything up. He was right there. No, that's not right. Nope, you can't do it that way.
Sure.
So yeah, it was. I would love to say it was a labor of love, but there was no labor involved in it. It is so. For me, it's several things that just had to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood has not been, as far as I can tell, it has not really been substantially creatively challenged. There are people who disagree with Hollywood, and they just kind of wail against the machine, but they don't really do anything that lasts more than the length of their argument. They have yet to write a screenplay, hire a crew, cast a movie, make a movie, edit a movie, score a movie, and distribute a movie that flies in the face of everything woke you can imagine. And we did that. So those are my not only tools of the trade, those are my weapons of choice against an otherwise insane industry. The craziness of Hollywood.
It has
Brad Pitt.
gotten totally nuts, hasn't it?
It just blows my mind. I was a big Brad Pitt fan, and I heard something about that Brad had done, and I thought, no, that can't be. That can't be. And I looked up Brad Pitt dress online, and sure enough, there's Brad Pitt at some award ceremony, showed up in a dress, and it wasn't a kilt. And then I saw some pictures of Brad dressed up like he's a sequined swimsuit model. And I'm wondering what on earth has gotten into this. This guy is when I've met him, he's kind of like a contractor. He's kind of like the guy down the street, the guy that helps you dig a post hole, but guy that would drive a truck. Well, I'm sorry. Nope. No more Brad. Not because I have an issue, but I have a huge issue with people who are putting this in front of our children and saying that it's not only normal, but little Johnny and little Sally, this is preferred behavior. And the videos I've seen so far about what's going on in schools, it's basically a burlesque show that comes to a kindergarten class. And what on earth reason could anyone give straight, heterosexual, transsexual, transgender, whatever, for having that kind of behavior displayed in front of children? I don't get it. I will not tolerate it, and we're going to do everything we can to shine a light on it so it can be stopped. I mean, you want to see that, go to a club that specializes in that. I've got no issue with that at all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So don't indoctrinate our extremely pliant children at an extremely fragile time in their lives into your lifestyle, regardless of what it is. It's not right. Not right. In my opinion, it's not right. It's not fair, and something has to be done.
What's interesting, too, is how the country has made patriotism something that is a bad word. When did we
Yeah, isn't
stop
that
being
crazy?
proud? Yeah, it's like we're ashamed of being Americans. Why should we be?
Well, when you follow the rabbit trail just a little bit back, you wind up saying, well, Hollywood is terrible, but Hollywood is nothing more than a line item on a billionaire globalist spreadsheet somewhere. Neither are most corporations, most box stores, most a lot of the farmland now. A lot of our country is owned by people who are all about globalism.
Yeah.
I'm not about globalism. I understand globalism, and I understand a need to be heard and understood and to understand a global stage. I understand that. But we can't be strong on the global stage if we are weak as a country. Now there are other countries that I can understand. You know, they are small countries. They are countries who are intimately aware of what famine is. They are constantly under attack. They are used as barter between other larger countries. I get that. For those, maybe a globalist mentality is a good idea, but not for the United States of America. Um, I don't see China jumping into the One World Alliance,
No. Mm-mm.
you know, and neither should we. If we do, then China will have achieved their goal of becoming the largest superpower on the planet. And again, I'm a very understanding person. I understand that China wants to be number one. So do we. And so were we. There's the difference between us and China. We were number one. We may still be hanging on by a thread, but with this embarrassing administration and this lack of protecting its people, which is the president of the United States' number one priority, by the way.
Yes, it is.
This is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of the Constitution. The president of the United States, the commander in chief, by definition, is supposed to protect us. And this administration has not only, if they were just doing a bad job, I could understand it and cut them a little slack. But they're not just doing a bad job. They have, and I believe these are two important words in a legal sense, constitutionally, they have refused protection. And they have done it day by day by day by day since this administration took power. And that is against our Constitution. That is against every man, woman, and child in the United States, regardless of what they choose to wear at a photo shoot. This
Right.
is patently wrong, and we must do something about it. Not we should, we must. We are obligated, ladies and gentlemen, to fix this problem, or at the very least, hold those who are refusing protection accountable for not doing so.
Well, it is the federal government's job to protect and defend, and that is the number one job they have, an obligation to the United States, to the citizens here.
Yep. So that they can provide us with an atmosphere where we can pursue life, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
And we can do that in relative safety.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what is happening. What is happening is people are coming, some good people, some bad people, some really good people, and some really bad people are coming over our borders. We have an influx of illegal drugs that are killing our children, killing people, but mostly not that children aren't people, but they're killing adults, they're killing children, and nobody in the administration seems to care. And to the point where when Biden was in Arizona, he didn't go to the border because from his own mouth, he had more important things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So again, he's refusing protection, and that is an impeachable offense. I believe in my soul of souls, the guy who made To Die For, that is it's actually treason, and it is a jailable offense. And I wish I was in some sort of a government position where I could sue this man. Actually, maybe I am. Maybe a citizen of the United States can sue the commander in chief for refusing protection. I wonder.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. Yes.
Because I'll do it. I mean, I like Quint North in the movie. I will not take the flag off the back of my El Camino, unless, of course, I paint my house to look like the flag, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I will gladly stir the pot, and I will gladly go to jail for what I believe in. And I believe that this country is the city on a hill. It is the greatest single greatest experiment in freedom the world has ever
Yes,
known.
it is.
And if it goes away, then everyone who has who dares dream of freedom somewhere in the future will just have to squelch that dream. Because if there is no United States of America, there is no freedom in the world.
Amen. We want to talk more about your movie To Die For, John, but we have to go to break. You're listening to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. Stay tuned for more coming up. TNCradio.live is proud to carry the Steve Summers Overnight Drive Show. TNCradio.live is dedicated to commercial drivers. We offer the news, traffic, and weather you need, and the entertainment, sports, talk, music, and celebrity interviews you want to hear 24/7. We have original shows and trucker podcasts that feature some of your favorites, like Ice Road Alex Debogorski and America's Truckin' Sweetheart Marcia Campbell. TNCradio.live is convenient and designed for professional drivers. The best part is we're free, and you can listen anywhere you are on the road. With just one tap, you can tune into Steve Summers and us right on your phone. Simply download our app by going to app.tncradio.live. That's app.tncradio.live. Did you know that 80% of America's communities rely on trucking alone to deliver their goods? The trucking industry keeps America running thanks to the 3.6 million professional truck drivers traveling over 300 billion miles a year. Industry movement Trucking Moves America Forward, or TNAF, tells the story of trucking and its positive impact on our economy, communities, and lives. Learn how you can be part of the industry movement working to build a strong image of trucking by visiting truckingmovesamerica.com. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live with Shelley Johnson and Tom Kelly. We're talking with actor, musician, and director John Schneider about his new thought-provoking film, To Die For. John, I think your movie is going to get people talking and thinking and maybe
so?
standing up. Yes.
Why so? What did it make you think?
Thank God there's this man, and he's standing up to this. There is nothing wrong with flying our flag, and we have a right to express ourselves. And where the heck did this happen that the school systems, which they do, they resent this? You're offending someone. I mean, there were so many different dynamics that were going on with Quint. How he was persecuted. He really was, just for being a patriot. And he'd been a veteran and served this country. It made me angry.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah.
that's the most valuable emotion when you're watching a film or telling a story. If you can get people's blood boiling about what's going on, that's a wonderful testimony to the film. I appreciate it.
No, angry, and the characters who were against him, they were types. You know, there's like, oh, I know that type of person. Oh, I know who that is too. And for me, you know, I had people in my own life who I was kind of like, oh, that's Jeff, and that's Mike. Oh, yeah, that might be a guy, but that's Tanya for sure. You know, and you know, because we're all running into these types of people all the time, and I thought that was a great choice too, to kind of. Not that they were extremes, but at the same time, each one you could kind of label and say, this is who this is, and hear and then get the interesting arguments against them, because some you can't argue with, they're just not even worth it, and others, listen, you know, hear this, and you know, maybe on some of them you can make a bit of a difference. You know, it's.
Yeah, and maybe they can make, like, there's I love the what is so interesting to me, and I think that as I said, the script was easy to write. I believe that it was divinely inspired, because I wrote several sides of several arguments, but they all came out of me.
Right.
And it's hard to write effectively two sides of an argument, and there are many arguments in this movie. I love the conversation with my daughter about how, you know, it offends some people. You know, you should take it down. Well, what if they offend me? You're going to take them down?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Yeah.
That's a great
and
line.
then
Yeah.
I say those people are wrong, and she says you can't tell people that they're wrong, and I say you just did, and she said that's different. Well, of course,
Yeah.
but one of my favorite things in the movie is that, and I hope it makes people go look up what are the Indian Wars, what was the Winter Campaign,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because Quint doesn't know anything about that. Quint is in his own war, and he's going to fight it to the death if need be. But he didn't poo-poo his neighbor's mention of the Winter Campaign or the Indian Wars. He didn't say, oh gosh, golly, I'm going to look it up right away. No, he was like, no, I've never heard of that. And he says, maybe you should look them up. And he says, maybe I should.
Mhm.
So I have the feeling if there were time in the film that we might see Quint looking at an encyclopedia,
Mhm.
an old dusty encyclopedia, just to see what in the world the Indian Wars were. What was the Indian camp or the Winter Campaign?
Sure.
And of course, for folks that know, that was when the United States of America under Lincoln, systematically annihilated every man, woman, and child that was in the way of the railroad,
Yeah.
which is a whole other story,
Mhm.
that one of these days will tell.
Yes.
Because I
Mhm.
think in order to tell the stories I already want to tell, I think I'm going to have to live to be 200. So as
There
long
you
as as long
go.
as that's okay with you, then I think
It
I'm
works for us. Absolutely. Yes.
Hey, John, when you're
yeah.
putting together a movie like this, I know that we've already talked about our feelings on Hollywood. We share those opinions, but there's some great directors, regardless of their politics. Is there anybody who you look at and you think, I like the way he puts together a movie, and try to not steal from in a negative, in a positive way, say, I want to do some of the same things he's doing because that's a great way to put together a movie?
Well, he's long gone, but I love Sidney Pollack.
Yeah. Yeah.
The most recent memory of a movie of his I can think of was Tootsie.
Tootsie.
Yeah.
Great, great storytelling, but he didn't write it. I don't believe he wrote it. So it's hard for me to, like, I love Clint Eastwood, but Clint does not write the movies that he directs. Um, George Roy Hill, pardon me, Judge Roy Bean. George Roy Hill did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I like the pacing of that. I like the timing of that. As far as new films go, I'm not really learned enough to be able to quote anybody new. But what I do see a lot of these days are, because I'm also the editor, I see a lot of films that are cut together so quickly that it makes me think that they're trying to disguise a non-story.
Right.
Back when John Ford was directing, back when John Huston was directing, they would let the camera linger and let you watch Quint and Becca sitting at the table. So I try to do that. I do also try to do quick cuts like we did in the war sequences in this film. But there's just so much to it.
Mm-hmm.
And really the timing of a movie comes from the editing, not so much from what you do on the set. The set is kind of where you collect all of the pieces, and then and you have a great time. There's a bunch of people, although our crew was never bigger than 10 people on this movie. But then you kind of sequester yourself away as an editor, and you're alone for months in a room, laughing and being angry and crying as
Mhm.
you're creating spontaneity, and you're creating an illusion of cohesiveness that doesn't exist when you're actually on the set. So that's where I love the editing process. I love creating continuity, creating timing, creating tension.
Yep.
You create those things. You shine a light. The comedy does work on the set. If the comedy doesn't work on a set, then it won't work in the cut, I think. So really, in the world of comedy, the editor's job is to make it funnier, make that which is funny funnier. But there's nothing less tense or romantic than filming a movie. So tension and romance and all of that stuff has to be created later. And but if it's not on the page, if the script doesn't make you cry, if the script doesn't make you angry, if the script doesn't make you want to put a flag on the back of your truck, then I venture to say the film won't either.
Right.
Agreed. John, we want to learn more about this fantastic movie, but we do have to go to break. You're listening to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. Stay tuned for more coming up. The trucking industry keeps America running thanks to the 3.36 million professional truck drivers who deliver everyday goods to 80% of American communities who rely on trucking for that last mile. The industry represents a diverse group with nearly half of drivers at 42% as minorities. Trucking Moves America Forward, or TNRS, educates the public on the essentiality of trucking by telling the story of trucking and its positive impact on our economy, communities, and lives. Learn how you can join the industry movement by visiting truckingmovesamerica.com. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson here with Tom Kelly. We're talking with actor, musician, director John Schneider about his new movie, To Die For. John, the song you used, That's Why We Stand.
Billy Dean.
Music. Yeah, with Billy Dean. That's dynamic.
Well, we were doing a show for truck drivers last year in Nashville, a celebration of our CDL holders, and I was in my little dressing room, and I heard from a couple of rooms down, I heard this beautiful song, this great voice being played on a guitar, and I walked out of my room and wandered down, and there was Billy. And he was singing that song to somebody who was in his room. And when he finished, I said, I'm just in the process of finishing a screenplay that song has got to be in. I said, it's like you were sitting in my pocket as I was writing this screenplay. Can I use it in the movie? And he said, absolutely. So the next day I had that. And shortly after that, I cut that first sequence together to that music. And it's the perfect marriage of music and picture, as far as I'm concerned, as good as anything I've ever seen.
Well, see, that's funny, John, because I thought the song came first, and that part of the movie was, you were incorporating bits of the song. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was just, again, that's why I feel it was inspired by God. It was blessed by God.
Let's give a listen to the song, That's Why We Stand, by country music superstar Billy Dean. This is a wonderful tribute to your movie, John, and what you're doing.
We were raised up in the South on Highway 12 off the rural route. And it was yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. It's still part of who I am. We bowed our heads, we said grace, and we owned up to our mistakes. We were born red, white, and blue. That was all we ever knew. We're not ashamed to fly these stripes and stars. When I see your glory, I see who we are. I see the scars, the tears, the ones who never made it back. And that's why we stand hand over heart when we fly this flag. We pledged allegiance in our school, the Lord's Prayer, the Golden Rule, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. That's what I believe in most. It's been trampled and it's been burned, but we stand up when it's our turn. We were born red, white, and blue. That was all we ever knew. We're not ashamed to fly these stripes and stars. When I see your glory, I see who we are. I see the scars, the tears, the ones who never made it back. why we stand hand over heart when we fly this flag. We still stand up for that anthem song, and for the soldiers too who still unknown, for all the rows of names engraved on white headstones. That's why we stand hand over heart when we fly this flag. We fly this flag. Our country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing.
That truly is a great song. Actually, John, you had some musical scores throughout the movie that were really moving.
I did a Christmas album called Merry Christmas Baby, and then another album called Recycling Grace, where we use an incredible performer and orchestrator named Larry Hall out of Nashville. And Larry is a master at writing for orchestras. So when we started this movie, I went to Larry and I said, look, we're doing a very small movie about a flag and a guy with a flag on the back of his truck. But I need a score that makes it important. I need a Dances with Wolves score to this little movie to make it important. So all of that beautiful orchestration that you hear is all Larry. And what we would do is I would edit a sequence and I would send it to him. He would send me something to inspire me to edit. For example, he sent me some music and I edited the first workout sequence that leads into the first flashback. So I cut the movie to that music. And then I would send him a scene that was already cut together, and I was pretty happy with it. I'd send it to him, and he would then write music to that, and I would tell him, look, I don't always cut picture on the beat, but I will occasionally do that. So score this scene, and then I will go back and adjust the edit to what you did. And again, it's a perfect marrying of picture and sound, as far as I'm concerned. And it's to me, it sounds as important as Dances with Wolves. It's a remarkable job. Larry Hall. He's got some stuff on Spotify, and folks, you should check it out. It's really good.
It was absolutely dynamic. All of this just worked so well. And you're evoking, I think, the emotions that you are trying to achieve with the viewer, with the message that this movie has.
Well, I thank you. And I want to say one more thing about the next time you see the movie, and I hope you'll see it again, folks. People, I had one couple say they've seen it 6 times now, and they keep seeing something different, but they always cry. They always cry. What you'll notice about the orchestration is not all of it, but several pieces of the music that Larry did are variations on a theme of You're a Grand Old Flag. So next time you see it, when you start hearing that lonely harmonica sound in a minor key, think about Grand Old Flag as you're listening to it. And I think you'll go, oh my gosh, that's a song I've known and I wanted, this is intentional. I wanted the background music to be something that was so familiar yet a little bit obscure, so that you'd have
Mhm.
to wonder, what is that tune?
Yeah.
What am I listening to? Which in my director's mind then brings you further into the wonder and discovery and curiosity of the story.
Which it did. And I
Yay!
I loved how you named the dog Glory.
Mhm.
That's
I
great.
had a dog named Glory. I had a
Oh,
dog
did
named
you?
Glory. I did.
Okay.
Yep. But of course, that's for our flag.
Yes,
So
I know. Yeah.
I wanted Quint to be constantly reminding the audience about Old Glory. And I'll tell you, folks, I'm not gonna let the dog out of the bag here, but someone who saw the movie made a suggestion about 2 weeks ago. I love the movie. It was fantastic. I wish you had blah.
Mhm.
It was the greatest suggestion that I've heard. So if you rent To Die For now, if you go to todieformovie.com
Mhm.
and you stream the movie or you download the movie, you will see a little bit different thing happening in the end.
Okay.
And it's not. That's a wonder of this our streaming platform, is I can go in and tweak it a little bit here and there. Now, this does not appear on the DVD, but I had to go in and make this little tiny change in the streaming version. So, folks, you got to check. Even if you have the DVD, you've got to check out the streaming version now. Sorry, you just have to.
Where did people find your movie, John?
todieformovie.com. That's it. If you go there, you can stream it, you can download it, you can read it, because we have a caption version on there, and you can also there's a link there where you can buy the DVD, and then the DVD comes three ways. It comes just the DVD, which is the easiest thing for the elves to ship out. Or it comes a little more money is the DVD personalized, and then a little more money still, because it gets more and more labor intensive as we go and time consuming. You can get the DVD autographed and personalized. So that's three different ways you can get it, but it's all available at todieformovie.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's
Or you can go to
worth
johnschneiderstudios.com as well. And then you can see the hats. We've got some To Die For shirts and some Second Amendment hats and a bunch of cool stuff in there. But if you want to go directly to the movie, it's todieformovie.com. If you want to check out the stuff at the store, then it's johnschneiderstudios.com.
John, you are so patriotic. It is so refreshing, and it shows in all of your work, even your music. There's one song in particular that I think is appropriate to play for our listeners. It's called Southern Ways, and it really describes a proud part of America. So I wanted to feature it.
As I look out through these neon lights, I see a field of fireflies twinkling on a sultry southern evening, and a far-off siren in the night sounds just like an old Bob White, telling me how wrong I was for leaving. 'Cause I still say ma'am when I'm talking to a lady, and I still get chills when I hear Dixie play. I got my daddy's pride, my mama's eyes, their love and sunshine raised me, and I'm never gonna change my southern ways. Now there's a concrete lake in Central Park. I close my eyes and in the dark, it looks just like my daddy's catfish pond. Each night I dream of golden hair, the girl that I left waiting there. I wonder if I've stayed away too long. 'Cause I still say ma'am when I'm talking to a lady, And I still get chills when I hear Dixie play. I got my daddy's pride, my mama's eyes, their love and sunshine raised me. And I'm never gonna change my southern ways. Yeah, sometimes a boy will let his dreams take him where he shouldn't be. But I rode mine as long and hard as I could. 'Cause I still say ma'am when I'm talking to a lady. And I still get chills when I hear Dixie play. I got my daddy's pride, my mama's eyes, their love and sunshine raised me. And I'm never gonna change my southern ways. No, I'm never gonna change my southern ways. I ain't ever gonna change my southern ways. My southern ways. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My southern ways.
John Schneider. I just love his voice. You're so talented in filmmaking and music and acting. This is wonderful. I'm so glad you put this together. You're a busy guy, John.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's great. This is exactly what I dreamed of doing when I was a kid. The wonderful, unexpected part of it, though, is that I can do it with a woman that I love, who is so much smarter than I am with regard to all of this stuff. That we call ourselves the team to beat, the TTB. And it's so wonderful to be, as they say biblically, equally yoked. We work hard. We really enjoy what we do. We do it together. And we met when she hired me to do a movie. So you can't beat that.
No, you can't. That was probably one of the best movies you ever were involved with at that point.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one
I'm
more
thinking
question.
about we're doing another one of our Southern Horsepower comedies. We've got the third of our Stand On It series. We had Stand On It, Poker Run, and the next one we're doing is called Double or Nothing. And I'm going to be once we hit January and February, we'll be filming that. I've already jumped the car for it, though. We set up a car jump, and I jumped the Hellcat Challenger T-top car about 125 feet for my birthday this last April.
Wow.
Now, some people go bowling, but I jump cars.
Okay.
So folks, be on the lookout for that. These are fun movies. We did Christmas Cars, we did Stand On It, we did Poker Run. And if you are a fan of the John Schneider that tears around through the backwoods on dirt roads in a hot car, then you'll love those movies.
Absolutely.
And I promise you're gonna love Double or Nothing too. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
John, how does your faith impact the movies that you make?
Well, there always has to be an element of design in it, an element of I'm here to do something, because I believe that we're here to do something, that God is up to something and we're part of it, not the other way around. So we don't invite God into our circumstance. He's already designed us into his, which affects kind of everything. But mostly it affects how we do what we do. It affects the fact that we do it. Every time I write a screenplay every time we say, okay, we are going to make this movie, we are absolutely stepping out in faith. There's no reason to believe anybody will watch it. There's no reason to believe we will do anything except lose everything we have every time we make a movie. So it is living, breathing faith in action that enables us to do it. And I think living your life in that realm can't help but feed your faith in every other area.
Well said.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So, John, what are the websites again where people can see your film?
Okay, if you want everything from T-shirts to movies, go to johnschneiderstudios.com. That's johnschneiderstudios.com. But if you say, hey, I love what you're saying about this movie To Die For, where can I get it? You can get it at johnschneiderstudios.com, but you can go directly to it through todieformovie.com. That's todieformovie.com. Watch the trailer, and if you like the trailer, you're going to love the movie, and you need to see it. If you don't like the trailer, you're going to hate the movie, and you really need to see it.
All the more reason you should see it. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I say bravo, John, for producing this. This is exactly what's needed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. We need to give some, like when we started here, we need to give some creative opposition to the really nonsense, the insanity that's coming out of the West Coast right now. And of course, Washington, D.C. But patriots need to be represented in entertainment.
Yep.
And not as crazy radical nut jobs, people who love their country more than themselves, people who are willing, yes, to die for what they believe in. And I know more of them than I know of the other people. And it's time that we shine a light on all of those men and women in this great country.
Amen to that. Thank you, John. This has been a pleasure talking to you.
So much fun. I enjoy it. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Everybody stay safe out there on the roads. It does get slippery. I'm at the point now where I don't drive at night in the motorhome. So if you see a motorhome in a truck stop or a rest area that took one of the spaces, don't cuss me out. It's just me trying not to wind up upside down on the side of the road.
This has been great. You have a great evening.
Will do. You do the very same. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thank you,
Bye-bye.
John. For our listeners who really enjoy John Schneider's music and his singing, I wanted to feature one more of his songs. It's called Lesson in Leaving.
Somebody gonna give you a lesson in leaving. Somebody gonna give you back what you've been given. And I hope that I'm around to watch them knock you down. 'Cause it's like you to love them and leave them, just like you love me and left me. It's like you to do that sort of thing all over and over again to a foolhardy man. I hear you've been asking about me from some of my friends. Well, girl, you better believe I ain't going through that again. 'Cause I'm the kind of man I guess you think you can change. But the only thing that's changing is my way of thinking. And I'm thinking that maybe someday somebody's gonna give you a lesson in losing. Somebody's gonna do to you what you've been doing. And I hope that I'm around to watch them knock you down. Somebody's gonna give you a lesson in hurt, and somebody's gonna leave you with your fire burning with no way to put it out. Oh, honey, there ain't no doubt I'm a foolhardy man. I'm the kind of man a woman thinks she can change. But the only thing that's changing is my way of thinking. And I'm thinking that maybe someday somebody's gonna give you a you back what you've been given, and I hope that I'm around to watch them knock you down. Because it's like you to love them and leave them just like you loved me and left me. It's like you to do that sort of thing all over and over again to a foolhardy man. Somebody gonna give you a lesson and leave, and somebody gonna give you back what you've been given, and I hope that I'm around, girl, watch them knock you down. Because it's like you to love them and leave them just like you love me and left me. It's like you to do that sort of thing all over and over again to a foolhardy man.
You've been listening to the Truckers Network radio show on TNCRadio.live with Shelley Johnson and Tom Kelly. We've been talking with actor, musician, and director John Schneider about his new film, To Die For. Definitely check it out. Stay tuned for more great entertainment right here on TNCRadio.live. Thank you for listening to another great interview on TNCRadio.live and the Truckers Network radio show. All of the material you hear on TNCRadio.live, on our website, our broadcasts, or our podcasts are copyrighted. There can be no distribution without the express consent of TNCRadio.live and its partners. For inquiries, write us at info@tncradio.live. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast. It's free.